What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, LoBaggers? Happy Thursday, June 24th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. An interesting day yesterday. My winning streak came to an end. 2-4 in MLB, down 2.43 units. It was disappointing, but while I struggled with yesterday's card, the cappers in the chat flourished. TAINT play of the day cashed again. That was one of my winners. Thank God for it. Dodgers, San Diego Padres, first five over at 3.5 cashed. Matt Randall's TAINT play of the day, now 31 wins and 16 losses, hitting at 66% now that we've gone back to a live daily show. Now, our man, Matt Randall, is going to be back at Mott's Children's Hospital today. His son, Briggsy, whom we love dearly, has a follow-up surgery, and it's nothing serious. They had inserted a tube that they're going to be taking out, so we don't expect anything serious. It's just a pretty simple thing here, but Briggsy's going to go under again, and so that little man Briggsy has so much courage, and I'm so excited about watching him grow up, and. But it is nice if we could send healing energy, positive energy, light, love, all of that to our big man, Briggsy, at Mott's Children's Hospital today. Now, our guy, Matty Ice, he cares so much about us cashing, so he's going to try to still jump in the chat and hand us out another winner. But he's got much, much more important things to care about today, even though he still is like, I'm going to get in the chat. I'm going to give you guys another winner. That's how much he cares about us. That's how much he loves us. So a huge shout out to Big Briggsy, who's one more follow-up surgery, then be in the clear. And we have so much love for Big Briggsy. So TAINT wasn't the only thing that cashed yesterday. Jose swept his Say Hey plays of the day. LA Dodgers, San Diego Padres over 7.5 at plus 102. Manny Machado over 1.5 bases at plus 127. Sweeperoo for Jose. And Pistol Pete Loshak drops in the show, hands us all his low-hanging fruit. It cashes in the second inning. So, again, we are a team. And I did not help at the level I hope to, but man, did the stars of the show come through. Dirty Kate prop cashed as well. We have his Urquidy over 4.5 Ks cashed very easily. So the boys were all cashing. I did not do the kind of job I was hoping to, but another day right here, we're still looking good in MLB. You know, you lose 2.43 units, but we're still 169 out 139, so 30 games over, 54.9% plus 12.16 units, ROI plus 3.95%, average line minus 112. We have a giant hockey game this evening on Saint Jean-Baptiste Day in Quebec. So we're going to have GOGSTER on. The Habs one game away from their first Stanley Cup final since 1993. Very exciting. So we have that. We have a huge basketball game at Staples Center, and we have 10 ball games to break down. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Raymond Reddington in the house says, TAINT killing the bookies. Let's go. Brian Watson ready to go. Oakland Boo. You know what? Now I'm going to buy back in a situation like that. And also another thing I did, I was like, I'm coming off a losing day. Why don't we just not put in any action before the show and talk everything out? And if that means that the market moves in a fashion that I don't want to bet, a move that I likely would have already been on, that's fine. So I've not made any bets yet today. Brian Watson on mini minus 160 and New York Yankees over 9. It is a very interesting Yankees game with Tyon and Keller going up against each other. Keon Jackson like an Aiton over 15.5 points. I mean, he's just eating Zubac up for lunch. Brandon Lugo in the house. There's Boston Nick ready to get to work. Nasty Nate ready to eat. Alex Gagnon. Ron Lofton in the house. And Renee says, Loshak, low hanging fruit of the day. Sharpies 30K all hit. Yeah, man. The guys are we have spectacular cappers in the chat. There's no doubt about it. There's Jeff Shahadi ready to eat. Puzzler, Amsterdam. What else? Billy Brisbane, Nigel Lee, DC, Gerald Jones. There's Clint Starr, the diehard MMA podcast, says prayers for Briggsy. He's got this. Yeah, he's such a tough kid. So much courage. There's Sharpie, fresh off cashing the Urquidy K prop. Jimmy Gomez. What a great group. Eric Jones. Glenn Elliott, man. Von Polo says, I hope you took the Atlanta Hawks money line with me. Von Polo is eating, as always, man. The guy just eats. We got Slatsy ready to go. Says 2-1 NHL last night, including point to score, plus 150 tonight. Habs under 5 at plus 107. Too stressed to bet the game. Go Habs, go. Yes, I understand, and I can't wait to break it down. And look, I've been losing in the NHL playoffs, and I've taken a step back and really lowered my quantity of action. But I have a lot to say about this game, and I just need to know who's in that for Vegas. I have an idea who's going to be in that, but we need to talk all that out. Keon Jackson says, new day, Jim. What's the play for today? Absolutely. We're going to get to work right now. There's Wyatt Chapman ready to get to work. Oh, man, would you be just sitting so pretty, diehard? I hope that for you. Von Polo says Suns tonight. I'm a little interested, or surprised, I should say, that the total's skyrocketing up. I did not expect that. All right, Gerardo Hernandez says Vegas Montreal first period under 1.5. Yes, I think that's a nice spot. It's just a little too juiced at this point, whereas the no goal in the first 10 minutes is something that's less juiced. So we'll talk about, and then over 5. Interesting, Gerardo. Very, very interesting. We need to know who's in net, so we're going to go over all that. Max says GOGSTER been giving out sour milk. I mean, one date is not a record make. GOGSTER has a hugely winning record, double-digit units up in the short time he's been on the show with us. There's Lance LaRose, says A's are a fraud. Kev Riley, DC Turnsy in the house. JT. All right, let's get to work. Chris Brady, Christopher Carter. Let's go. There's Jared JB. Nice to see you, Jared JB. Brandon Lugo, Anthony Witherspoon. And Slats says, you should be so proud of what an amazing cast of characters you've assembled to create the best capping show in the land. Thank you for the kind words, Slats, but we're clearly a team. There's Lil E. Man, I haven't seen Lil E. God, it's got to be definitely over a year. Got to be a couple of years since Lil E been rolling with us. All right, let's get to work. Thank you all so much for joining us. It's time to go. And Chris Brady says Seattle Kraken special announcement this morning at 10 a.m. Pacific. I'm excited to have them in action. Royals team total over. Jay's team total over for Christopher Carter. Royals team total over for Anthony Witherspoon. All right. Let's get to work right now. And Ron Loftus says, Ghost has put more money in my pocket than not. Without a doubt. I mean, there's no doubt about that. One day it is not a record make, and that's why we talk about our records throughout the season. All righty, let's get to work right now. And big shout out to everybody joining us here on Pub Sports Radio, Betting with the Bag in business. We start with afternoon baseball, 1:05 p.m. Eastern. Kansas City Royals 33-39, 15-20 on the road at the New York Yankees, 39-34, 20-18 at home. We're at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York, 76 Fahrenheit, clear, 9 miles per hour, sideways in. Brad Keller going up against Jameson Taillon. I saw the market move towards the Yankees. My first instinct was, if this is a coin flip on which pitcher is going to get rocked, why wouldn't we take the big dog? There is a Razor Sharp Picks. Says, what up, Jimmy? What up, chat? P.S. I hate your hat. Yeah, Razor. There was some real bad beats yesterday. And Razor's Gambler's First Glance on the Angels was just a horrible beat, only to be trumped by Gas Station Sushi and the others who were on the full game under in the Giants-Angels game. 1-1 going into extra innings, and the final score is 9-3. Heartbreak there. Anthony Witherspoon looking at the Paul double, and Rusty Coots play of the day. Vegas Montreal over 5 for Turnsy. Turnsy, do we know who's going to be in goal? That's the question. Do we know who's going to be in goal? Yanks team total over for Soupy Panties. Renee, Royals first 5 is solid play. Stay away from full game because their bullpen is an absolute dumpster fire. That was a bet I came close to making. I really did. Let's talk about the pitching matchup here. Keller has been terrible this year. 6-7, 6.34 ERA, 1.75 WHIP, 71 innings, 64 Ks, 33 walks, 10 home runs allowed. In his last start, he allowed 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 homer, 3 walks, 4 Ks in 5 innings, and a 7-1 loss at home versus the Red Sox. Tough opponent. But it was at home. It was at home. And Terenzi says it doesn't matter to me. Interesting. Brian Watson says Astros -1.5 yesterday. Wow, that was a very... Oh, we should review exactly what happened to me yesterday. Not taking the Houston-Baltimore first 5 under 5.5 instead of the Astros. Or even Baltimore team total under. We knew the dirty case strikeout prop was on Urquidy. I expected Urquidy to have a nice start. Just mistakes there. Athletics -1, -128 was a loss. Diamondbacks first 5 +0.5 was at +110 was a loss. San Francisco, LA first 5 under 4 at +100 was a casher. Again, Houston, Baltimore first 5 under 5.5 was a loss. Royals first 5 at +140. I got a great line. I thought it was a great bet. It was a push. Marlins first 5 +100 was a loss. I should have had a red flag knowing that Rogers had 7 days between starts. Why? Why did he have 7 days between starts? I don't know why. That wasn't more of an issue to me. And then thank God for the taint. Dodgers, San Diego, first 5 over 3.5. There's North Ender in this house. Okay. And yes, low hanging fruit. Christopher Comtini, of course it does. Of course it hits. Jimmy Gomez says Yankees first 5 looks like the best play for this game. Jimmy, I did switch my thought process here when I took a closer look at Taillon of late and now getting another home start to stay in his routine. Taillon has been bad this year, no doubt about it. Coming back from Tommy John, 1-4, 5.59 ERA, 1.34 WHIP, 58 innings, 63 Ks, 18 walks, 11 home runs. In his last start, he went 4 2/3. He allowed 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 home run, 1 walk, 5 Ks, and a 5-3 loss at home versus the A's. So we talked about the pitchers yesterday that were getting their second straight home start. One of them was Foltynewicz, and he looked very good. And now Taillon with the same opportunity here. Same opportunity. And diehard MMA podcast, our man Clint saying Bellator MMA tomorrow. Daniel Weichel, I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce Daniel Weichel. At +125 says get it while you can. Number is drying up. DC says over 4-0 in Royals last 4 road games. Royals versus righties 241, 694 OPS. Yankees versus righties 230, 708 OPS. Royals bullpen 4.23 ERA, 1.36 WHIP, converted 16 of 28 save opportunities, already being referenced as a dumpster fire in the chat. And Yankees bullpen 3.22 ERA, 1.14 WHIP, 20 of 28 save opportunities. But we must stop right now. The taint is in. And that's how much Matty Ice cares about us with so much going on right now. And over at Mott's Children's Hospital, he still takes the time to put in the taint play of the day. What an incredible guy he is, and let's celebrate Taint right now. 31-16, hitting at 66%. Taint, baby. Taint! Taint, baby. Taint, taint, taint! What a guy. So Taint play of the day is in. And it is Astros first 5 -1/2, but it's -140. Can't give that as Taint. Taint play today is Nats first 5 -1/2. So if we want now, I thought I looked hard. It's very interesting that he loves that Astro spot as much as he does, because the only thing that are they going to be a little lazy on the travel day was my first thought. But we could turn that first 5 into a -1 if we expect Urena to get touched. But it is the Washington Nationals that he will be attacking. So let's just move over there here very quickly. And there's Nut Flush Allen in the house as well. And we are sending as much positive energy, light, and love to Big Briggsy. What a courageous boy he is. And we love him so much here. So we're thinking about you, sending you guys energy, talked about you guys off the top of the show, and love you dearly. Let's go to the Nats first. Where's that Nats action? Sorry, here. Let me just find it so I have it ready to go. So the taint is the Nats and Lester. Okay. All right. And what a man Matty Ice is. I mean, he just cares so much about putting money in our pockets and improving our life. He's We're just so fortunate. We're so lucky and should be so thankful to roll with them. And Nutflush Allen says, I love the Nats first five, Manny, almost as much as my Giants bets from last week. And Glenn Man says, Nationals look good. Have won 4 straight. There's Ty Clinton ready to get to work. Okay, so we're talking Royals, Yankees. And Jimmy Gomez has some thoughts for us here. Let me get up to it here. Where was it? Tyon at home, 3.29 ERA. And versus Keller, road starts 4.75 in 7 games. At least a 1.5 run advantage with the same hitting strength with both teams. That is my reasoning. That makes sense to me. And as we have Taint coming in, we also have the Dirty K prop coming in as well. Dirty K prop in the house right now. Sharpies, Dirty K prop. Garcia over 6.5 Ks at plus 120. Says Tigers are number 27 in, what's that? Well, number 1 is strikeout percentage. Small sample size for Detroit favors Garcia first time around. Take the fact that he's allowed 1 run or less in 4 out of his last 5 starts. Garcia over 6 and walk percentage. Okay, thank you. Walk percentage. There we go. Over 6.5 Ks for Garcia. Let me copy and paste that right now. Sharpie's Dirty K prop is in, and it's in the Astros game. So we got a lot to talk about in that Astros game. Let me just find it here. There we go. So put that right here. Okay, we're locked and loaded. Okay, so let's finish off this Yankees spot. Let's go to the market move here in this Yankees game. So Yankees taking a ton of cash. They opened up at minus 177. They moved to minus 205. Also, the total goes from 9.5 to 9, which is interesting. Let's see if that first half total does the same. The first half total here opened at 5.5 and has gone down to 5. So we go to baseball data, and that's sort of where this is all coming from. In baseball data, we see that both pitchers have been good against the opposition in a small sample size. Against Keller, the Yankees are 2 for 13, 154 with a 599 OPS. And against Tyon, 4 for 23, 174 with a 501 OPS. So let's go to the cash flow and see where it is in this spot and how many tickets we have in. A nice number for us here, 6,254 tickets in. We only have 3 games that are 6,000 plus tickets. And with this spot, we see that 78% of the tickets are on the Yankees, 88% of the cash. And here, interestingly enough, we have 30% of the tickets on the under, but 82% of the cash. And we've seen it move from 9.5 down to 9. Sharpie says Yankees lineup is out. They have their A lineup in. Ergo Caustic sending positive thoughts for Briggsy. Jessica Fine. Yeah, sweet memories there. Sweet memories. All right, let's bring up RotoWire and just take a look at this A lineup that is in. Here we go. And see if we want the Yankees now. We sort of missed the boat on the market move. Let's see what we're dealing with. Yankees, LeMahieu, Judge, Sanchez, Stanton, Voit, Odor, Fraser, Gardner, Wade. For the Royals, Merrifield, Santana, Perez, O'Hearn, Alberto, Dyson, Taylor, Nicky Lopez, and Rivero. I mean, they're just such a different team when Mondesi's in the lineup here. Such a different team. All right, David Summers says, Matty Ice, since the Astros are minus 140, let's just all parlay it with the Taint. 2 winners. Matt Randall continues to give away free Christmas presents 24/7, 365. Best financial advisor. Sterling Gentry says, so take the over. Yankees win. I'm certainly not. And Nutflush on says, be careful with that Yanks under. Lots of runs coming today. All right. So let's take a look if we want to back the first 5. Why don't we start there? First 5, and we'll go to the spread, first 5. So Yankees minus a half, first 5 is still minus 135. That's a lot to pay. And if we would instead want Yankees full game to take advantage of the strength of that bullpen, if we take Yankees on the full game run line, it's about minus 105. Keller's looked so bad lately. Taillon second straight home start. Joe Yurkovich says, you got to pass this game. Yanks overpriced and the pitchers suck. Warrior says, Royals reverse run line today for me for 1 unit. There's Mr. GOGSTER in the house. Christopher Carter says, so funny the Yanks keep playing Odor. The team needs a completely new management structure. Northander says, could be runs in this game. The Warrior says, I love that people are going to be betting the Yankees today. Glenn Elliott Man has Kyler 9.39 ERA in his last 3 starts. That's a lot of juice to pay for Taillon, but I do think there's some truth with this second straight home start for these pitchers. We saw it with Fultonavich last night. So I just don't know if it's worth the price. First 5. Let me just see exactly what it is if I was to bet it right this second. Here we go. And it's not even available for me for 5 innings alternate line. So, all right. So I understand this look for the first 5 minus a half, although it's not available for me at this time. I'll just leave that as a lean so we don't hammer it over and over and over. Turnsy says, Jimmy, do you ever play 2-teamers, non-official Twitter picks in MLB? I haven't put together a baseball parlay all season. I can understand doing it for recreational purposes if you'd like. Ron Crawford is on Oakland here, and the Warrior says, don't touch those Yankees, Jimmy. Sterling Gentry, the total opened up at 9.5 and is now at 9. Okay, let's move on to 2:05 p.m. Eastern, and we get to Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day that hits at a very, very, very high rate. Oakland Athletics, 45-31, 20-13 on the road at the Texas Rangers, 27-47, 17-20 at home. Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. The roof is closed. I don't have that confirmed, but it's about 104 with the Humidex. So I can only imagine that the roof will be closed. Chris Bassett, 7-2, 3.40 ERA, 1.06 WHIP, 92 2/3, 98 Ks, 23 walks, 9 home runs on the season. Coming off a start at the Yankees, so this is a second straight road start. 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 home run, 2 walk, 7 Ks, and a 7-5 loss at the Yankees. Colby Allard, 2-2, 2.93 ERA, 1.08 WHIP, 40 innings, 43 Ks, 10 walks, 5 home runs. He is sneaky. But the eye test, I just think he's so hittable. But he's coming off a nice start at home against the Twins. This is his second straight home start. He went 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 home run, 1 walk, 6 Ks against the Twins team. That can rake. A's versus lefties, they hit him hard. 244, 750 OPS. Rangers versus righties, just 229, 686 OPS. A's bullpen much better than the Rangers bullpen. And David Summer says, I live in Dallas. I can unequivocally say the roof will be closed. DC says Rangers are 0-6 now. His last 6 starts versus an American League West team. That's a big, big point. Big point. Thank you for sharing that. Young Suave in the house says Oakland killed me yesterday. They got to win big today. Glenn Mance is on paper. A's Rangers looks like an under, low total at 8. Let's take a look at that total right now. We'll move over to, let's just get the MLB only so we can have money lines and totals up here. Here we go. Money lines and totals. We'll start with full game. Full game. The Rangers have dug into their bullpen quite a lot in the last 2 days, and it's not a strong bullpen. The total opened up at 8.5. It's now moved to 8. The A's opened up at minus 158. 158. And they are now at minus 145, a 13-cent move towards the Texas Rangers. Nutflush On says A's bats away from home and being quiet. I can't wait to talk about the game slats. DC says leaning A's hard. Montez Stewart, no run first inning. Montez, that is a very possibly a very sharp look. Interesting. Okay, let's go to baseball data here. We have against Bassett. The Rangers are hitting 364 with a 1.167 OPS. 8 for 22 with 2 doubles and 2 homers. Against Colby Allard, whatever the hell it is pronounced, 357 average, but just a 795 OPS. So they're 5 for 14, but all 5 of those hits are singles. Danny A says, been doing 2 to 3 leg MLB parlays all week, and I've been hitting 3 or 4 daily. I love the odds, but I got to slow down. NBA was cash last night with the Hawks spread. Brazil comeback was easy. Tyclon says, yes, A's bats being cold. Brian says, what's going on, fellas? Get the cash today. Been a while since I've been able to watch live. I'm excited. Great to see you, Brian. Ron Lofton is on the under 4 first 5. Let's see where that money is in this spot. The A's have 79% of the tickets on them and 93% of the cash with 7,250 tickets in. And yet the market is moving towards the Texas Rangers. That's a red flag for me. We have 70% of the cash on the under, and it's moved down a half run. So all that can be expected. Sharpie says Gallo owns Bassett. He has 2 home runs off Bassett. Very, very, very interesting. And Slot says, I'm a mess with this NHL future on Habs and Tampa, but I know if it's a Habs Isles finals, the dream will happen. Well, finally, look, the hockey gods finally came down on the Lightning for circumventing the cap, and Kucherov is hurt. So we have a lot to talk about in the NHL, no doubt about it. Reginald Luker says taking the Rangers on a parlay. I'm not going to move on this A's Rangers spot. Conflicting information here and nothing that I want to trust or believe in. Let's move on to 7:07 p.m. Eastern. We have Baltimore Orioles 23-51, 11-25 on the road at the Toronto Blue Jays, 37-35, 13-16 at home at Salem Field in Buffalo, New York. I saw the market moving towards the under, and 11 is a high number. And I came so close to betting it. And I did not. And I understood that I was probably and there was a minus 120, so there was juice. I was probably going to see 10.5s across the board, and that's what we see right now. And I still couldn't do it. Yes, 11 miles per hour in is the wind in Buffalo, but I could not pull the trigger on this spot. Sharpie says I'm on the over 10.5 in Jays O's game. Orioles smashed left-handed pitching. And talking with Chris G, we have Kramer, whose spin rates were down last week, and the Jays smashed him. Well, what's going to change today? I agree, but the market moving towards the under. Well, what's going to change today is that there are fly balls that would be home runs on other days that will be caught at the warning track. That's the only thing that will change today. Turnsy says, I love the over in the Jays game. All right, let's talk about it. Kramer 0-6, 6.20 ERA, 1.48 WHIP. 49 and third, 45 Ks, 19 walks, 13 home runs. In his last start, he went 6 innings, allowed 3 hits, 2 earned runs, both solo shots, 3 walks, 6 Ks, and a 10-7 loss at home to these very Blue Jays. Then we have Anthony Kay, who also got lit up by the Orioles, a lefty whom the Jays believe in. So I know the numbers are bad, but the Jays brass believes in this kid. 0-2, 6.43 ERA, 1.52 WHIP, 21 innings, 23 Ks, 10 walks, 5 home runs. Neil says, bust out that spice, Captain Morgan. Too early, Nilo. Bleds W says Jays first 5 over. First 5 over. Bleds W says Vlad for a homer today. And Sterling says Vlad Jr. seems to be in some sort of a slump. I mean, his numbers are spectacular, but it's a long season. Orioles versus lefties, 275, 781 OPS. That's the 4th highest OPS in the league against lefties. There was a time they were number 1. Jays versus righties, 261, 773 OPS. They both smash the opposite pitcher's side. Orioles bullpen 4.87 ERA, 1.38 WHIP. Both bullpens are an absolute train wreck. Yet this number has gone from 11 to 10.5, and it can't be just wind-oriented. Against Kramer, the Jays are 3 for 18, but 2 of those 3 hits are homers by Simeon and Vladdy. So a 167 average, but 786 OPS, and we've already heard Sharpie talking about the spin rate being down. With the other side against Anthony Kay, 300 average and 983 OPS, 6 for 20 with 1 double and 2 homers. There's Diesel Eugene. I thought you'd like me rocking the Angels hat for you, my man. And Montez Stewart says Jays team total over. Sharpie says Baltimore last 15 days bullpen is number 30. Jays number 15. All goes towards the over. Yes, it all goes towards the over except the market. So let's see. And I almost pulled the trigger on the under 11, but I don't have numbers to back this up, so I probably shouldn't even say it, but I just noticed when major league pitchers, and these are fledgling major league pitchers here, but when major league pitchers have a bad start against an opponent, they usually, when they face them again 5 days later, have a better start. And that's easy to say with how bad these two guys looked 5 days ago in Baltimore. So let's see. The cash has 92% of the tickets on the Jays, 94% of the money, 79% of the tickets on the over, and 59% of the cash on the over, and it's dropped a half run. Wow, Pacers just hired Carlisle? Wow, Turnsy, that's wild. Billy Brisbane says, I like Toronto first 5 or full game. All right, and DC says, bookie diversion, lower the line to lure unders. All right, let's move over to the market. We've seen it go from 11 to 10.5. We've also seen the Jays take huge money, minus 158 to minus 192. Finally, a man says Toronto 3-5 in Buffalo. Puzzler saying, rethinking my initial lean on the over. I'm not going to go up against what we're seeing here. And it's not that I'm going to fade you guys and take the under. It's just that I can't take the over when it doesn't if it's not congruent. We use that word over and over again on the show. So no move for me in Orioles, Jays. Not Flush on says James team total over Jays team total over 5.5 juice to minus 130. All right, let's move on. And Dave Haxtell. Wow, been Kraken's first ever coach. That's not who I expected. Jimmy Gomez says no play on Toronto yet. And Joe Yerf says Jays all the way, but I don't play on division home favorites in this price range. Absolutely. Diesel Eugene says, got the fiance listening to the show this morning, making my bets for me. No complaints here. Couples that cap together, stay together. You are a lucky man. Eugene, you are a lucky man. Treat her incredibly well. I know that you will. 7:10 p.m. Eastern is next up. We have Atlanta Braves 35-38, 15-18 on the road at the Cincinnati Reds 36-36, 16-16 at home. We're at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. And Jerry Beatty is on Jay's first 5 or run line. Braves, Reds, 35-38, 15-18 on the road. Reds, 36-36, 16-16 at home. Great American Ballpark, 86 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 9 miles per hour, sideways in. And do we now know who the Braves pitcher is? Still undecided. I don't know if any of you guys know who the Braves pitcher is, but I think that Tony Santillan is capable of having a nice start here. So I'd be very curious to hear who this Braves pitcher is today. I know that Santillan's coming off a tough start at the Padres, but I think this will be much easier for him, even though the Braves smash righties or hit them. I shouldn't say smash, 233, 745 OPS. Bled Zubby says, is Acuna in the lineup today? I have no idea at this point. They haven't put out the lineups. Alexander Sosa says, Reds first 5. I don't care who the Braves have pitching. The Braves pitching is an absolute mess right now. And if they turn this into a bullpen day, we're going to be able to beat that. So I'm very, very interested in the Cincinnati Reds here, and we'll probably want to stay away from their bullpen, even though both bullpens are garbage fires. So let's move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. The Boston Red Sox at Tampa Bay Rays. Now, like many fathers, I've always dreamt of moving my family to a Caracas ranchos, and working my way up the El Coqui drug ladder. But unfortunately, I must stay here in Canada listening to pigeons fuck on my balcony. What I can do, though, is live vicariously through my Venezuelan son living in San Antonio, Texas, named Jose. And I am extremely proud of my son today. On a losing streak, chips were down, looked like he just got himself out of a ditch. Sweeps the board. Machado over 1.5 bases, plus 127, over 7.5 in the Dodgers-Padres game. Puts him in positive units on the season, on the show here. 11-11 plus 0.05 units. ROI plus 0.23%. Who cares that there's a 0 in front of it? Who cares? Average line plus 102. The man is in the black, and that's what I care about. Jose's Say Hey play of the day coming to you right now, right here on Pub Sports Radio. Jose, my friend, how are you?
Jimmy, I'm doing well. All the stars aligned for me yesterday. I had a very good day. I had, the Holy Spirit, as I'll call him now. Manny Machado hit a home run in the first inning off of Trevor Bauer, like we said he would. That was very nice. Cash is a plus 130-ish winner. That was cool. I pulled the last run to get my over directly from my rectum.
Ooh.
And I got it out there.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Deep, or was it right on the surface?
It was right there, but I for a moment there, I thought I was gonna have to pull it out in the ninth. That would have been a deep. But we made it. And Jimmy, on top of all that, Venezuela kicks the shit out of the Netherlands yesterday. So now I'm just waiting for the Dominican Republic again. I'm waiting for Melvin Betances. I'm waiting for all the Dominicans. I want all the smoke. I'm ready. I'm ready for it all. And if Venezuela again loses by double-digit runs, I'll just be depressed again, and it's okay.
Okay. Well, yeah, we've seen you in the gutter, and we've seen you with a smile on your face. Let's just give a quick shout-out to Don't Ask, Don't Tell. What a guy with a dono. Thank you for your support. Says, I made her shake my taint, and then hail to the king taint. A lot of taint talk today. All right, here we go. We know he is a streaky capper. And on a 2-game winning streak, Boston Red Sox 44-30, 24-13 on the road at the Tampa Bay Rays 44-31, 20-15 at home. We're at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. Nick Pivetta, pride of Victoria, British Columbia. 6-3, 4.36 ERA, 1.35 WHIP, 74 in the third, 86 Ks, 36 walks, 10 home runs, and I don't trust him. Wow. I don't trust him, Jose. His last start was okay. 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 home run, 3 walks, 6 Ks, and a 5-3 loss at the Royals. Michael Wacha on the other bump. I don't trust him either, Jose. He looked terrible in his last start. I know he's been just an opener, but they let him go for 3 2/3, 11 hits, 5 earned runs. Not good. Both teams hit righties hard. Both teams have strong bullpens. Take it away, Jose. Take it away.
Yeah, so I would say, as of right now, I know this is your classic sports cliche, but this is the most important game for both of these teams thus far. The Red Sox are a half game up. This game is for first place going forward, momentum going forward. The Red Sox are 4-1 against the Tampa Bay Rays this year. 4-1. Now, Jimmy, I've noticed a trend with you and fellow Canadian and I would say a gambling cousin of mine, Ian Cameron, a.k.a. Bobano, my favorite gambling name out there. You guys don't like your Canadian friends, your brothers. You guys you back your Canadian brethren. I'm a fan of Pivetta. I think the Red Sox win today. I originally was going to take their money line, Jimmy, but now you've got me leaning towards the over, so now I'm a little worried. But I actually, Jimmy, a son should listen to his dad's advice. And I got the telepathy right there. I felt it across the screen. So I'm going to go the last-minute switch. I'm leaning towards the over here again, Jimmy. I told you I haven't bet unders in a long time now. Over 9 minus 103 at Pinnacle right now. I love it.
Over 9 at minus 103 at Pinnacle. Well, let's break down that look. Over 9 at minus 103. Very quickly, though, Joseph Gomez has a question for you in the chat. Says, boy, is that a mustache or leftover Starbucks caramel latte?
Well, Joseph, here's the thing. Venezuelan people are known for a lot of things, and unfortunately, facial hair is not one of them. However, this might be the residue from my last run from last night. I had to maybe wipe it off my face. Who knows? We'll see. We'll just move on.
Okay, we'll move on. All right, let's break this down. So we are thinking Jose's moving on the over 9 here. We have both teams smashing righties, 254, 760 for the Red Sox, 233, 734 for the Rays. Let's go to baseball data and see what we are dealing with here. Against Pivetta, he's taking them out. 2 for 19 against Pivetta. 2 for 19 with 2 singles. Wow. And against Wacha, they're hitting 286 with a 1 OPS, but which Waka was that? Because there was a time that Waka was a strong starter, and that was
2013, Jimmy,
long
2013.
long time ago. Joe Yurkovich says Waka stinks. Take the first 3 on Boston. Okay, so let's see where the market has moved on this total. So we have it at 9. It was originally a pick'em. So there's been a 3-cent move towards the under. Just a 3-cent move towards the under. And let's see where the cash is in this spot. We have 54% of the tickets on the under and 43% of the cash. So that doesn't really help us. On the money line, we have 56% of the tickets on the Red Sox and 87% of the cash on Pavetta.
See, I really do think they're going to win this game. I mean, originally I was going to come on here and say Red Sox money line, but I feel definitely more confident now with the over 9. I mean, honestly, Jimmy, when I see Michael Wacha on the mound, I have pleasant flashbacks. By the way, shout out to Turnsey. Pleasant flashbacks of 2013 World Series and Michael Wacha crumbling in Fenway Park and the Red Sox winning a World Series and watching him slump off the mound. So I really do think the Red Sox win today, but over 9 is the way to go here, Jimmy. And by the way, Jimmy, I wore this my other hockey jersey, my Oilers jersey today for Nick Pivetta, and I don't know my Canadian geography, so I was like, Edmonton, British Columbia, they're all in the same place, right? But
we know more about Venezuela in Canada than Americans know about Canada.
That is very accurate, and I can say that you probably know more about Venezuela than I know about Venezuela.
You know, high murder rates excite me.
High.
Very high.
Very skyrocketing every day.
Okay. Over 9 at -103. Now, let me ask you this, Jose. Why are you taking the full game rather than focusing on the starters' first 5? The first 5. But in saying that, the first 5 that's sitting at 5 has already been moved down to 4.5 at Pinnacle. So there's a legitimate market move towards the under here. But doesn't scare our man Jose. The say hey play of the day, over 9 at -103, coming off a beautiful back-to-back cashers. Great work. Christopher Comatini says Miss Venezuela always wins Miss Universe.
Yes, that's one of the 3 things that Venezuela exports. It's very nice. That's when I can really put my nuts on the table and see that, guys? We're number 1, Miss Universe. It's very nice.
Yes. Be proud of that Oilers jersey on. Makes me sick. Diesel said, I hear kidnappings are common. They are. Jessica, yes. You respecting the diversity of my knowledge of the murders in Caracas?
Yes. Actually, Jimmy, here's a story. I went to Venezuela once. I was born there, moved to the United States, and then I went back for a semester or something like that. And or for a summer, sorry. And my mom was with my mom, and she was like, don't speak when we're there, basically. Because if you speak and you speak English, they're going to know that we have dollars, and then we're going to get kidnapped. So, yeah, that was a good time. I just wanted to share that with the people. So if you're in Venezuela for who knows why, don't speak English and don't speak broken Spanish like I do. So important information.
Life. Stay hot, my friend. Stay hot. Over 9 at -103. Congratulations on your success yesterday on the double up. Keep cashing, and we will see you tomorrow. There he is. Jose, say hey, play of the day on the over 9 at -103. Over 9 at -103. And in that spot, we have a full game money line. I just want to take a look at that full game. There's no way I would take Pivetta here under any circumstances. I really think he's about to get hit hard, but I'm also not going to get in the way of this market move, 14-cent move towards the Boston Red Sox and Nick Pivetta. All right, there you have it. So we're halfway through this card and no moves for me, but we come to a very, very big game. We come to the Astros Tigers. And I know we don't usually talk like that about Tigers games, but our guys, two of the stars of the show in David Sharpie and our guy, Matt Randall, are on this game. Matt Randall gave us this play from Mott's Children's Hospital, where they're doing a follow-up surgery on his son, Briggsy. And we have so much love for Briggsy and so much love for the whole Randall family. But that's how much Matt cares about us and cares about putting money in our pockets. So we will start with the TAINT play of the day, sitting at 31 wins and 16 losses, 66%. And he said he can't give us this as the TAINT play of the day because it's too juiced. Too juiced. But he says it's his favorite play at minus 140. No, we haven't got there yet, Nasty Nate. The TAINT play of the day is coming up right now. And I cashed on TAINT. Thank God for it yesterday. But we do have the Sharpie look. Sharpie has pulled the trigger here on Garcia. Luis Garcia, 5-4, 2.82 ERA, 1.07 whip, 70 1/3, 80 Ks, 22 walks, 9 home runs. And Sharpie is taking the over 6.5 Ks. All right, let's break this down. Astros 46-28, 20-15 on the road. At the Tigers 32-42, 17-19 at home. Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. 84 Fahrenheit, overcast, 13 miles per hour. In is the wind. Very heavy wind coming in. Let's just verify that with one other site that the wind is that strong coming in Detroit. And they've got right to left. What did I say? Did I not even say sideways in? I just said straight in. Jose Urena has been a train wreck so far this season. 2-7, 5.79 ERA, 1.59 whip, 65 1/3, 41 Ks, 30 walks, 7 home runs. His last start, he got hit hard. 3 home runs, 7 earned runs, and just 4 1/3. Just 4 1/3 at the Angels. And Urena coming off a great start, 2-1 win at home over the White Sox, allowed just 1 earned run, 7 hits in 7 innings. So we have the wind coming in. That's probably going to help Urena. We know that Garcia is capable of a very good day. Very good day. Let's see what we're talking about with the baseball data here in this spot. Luis Garcia, 167, 481 OPS against him, 2 for 12. And against Urena, just 9 at-bats against him, Altuve, Maldonado, and Gurriel, and they're 4 for 9. And it's Altuve doing the damage, 3 for 3 with a double and 2 triples. So clearly, the Astros are going to run roughshod over this Tigers team. But is this a tired Astros team? They traveled last night after a huge winning day. Is this a spot where we could think maybe they're not as dominant? Clearly, everybody, the public's going to be all over this Astros squad. 91% of the tickets on the Astros, 92% of the cash. 66% of the tickets on the over and 72% of the cash on the over. Let's see what the market has done with this Astro squad. They opened up at minus 184. They're now minus 208. So a 24-cent move towards the Astros, and some books have them heavy. Bet365 at minus 240 right now. Jesus, minus 240. They opened up at minus 200, so a 40-cent move towards the Houston Astros is very interesting. And then first 5, and that was what Manny said was his favorite spot on the card, but it was too juiced. So do we take the Astros at minus 1? Do we take the Astros at minus 1? And Sharpie says, I believe TAINT was based off of Lester pitching for Washington. It's Joe Ross on the bump. There's Gundam Atticus. Great to see you. Brian Watson says Ross is better than Lester. In fact, I thought Lester could easily get touched in this spot. So do we have that confirmed? That is, let me just see if that is confirmed over here, that Ross is the starter here for the Nats. So we can, yes, it is Ross. Nice. Okay. So I think that we have no worries to take the Astros on the minus 1 line for the first 5. And then probably on the 1.5 in the game. Of course, Bet365, scared of that, is not offering the Astros on the minus 1 line. You could take them minus 0.5 in the first 3 at minus 120. They're offering that. And they're offering minus 1.5 through 7 at minus 120. One of these bets has to be taken. This Urena is going to get lit up and smoked. The -1.5 is at -155, so there's too much juice there. There's Joshua Kanlaya in the house. Great to see you, Joshua. Big Show says, I think you can go over in the Detroit-Houston game. 2 of the top 8 run-scoring teams in the last 7 and 15 days. I don't know. Luis Garcia is really pitching well right now, so it might be better just to focus on the Astros, and that is at 5.5 at -125. That is pretty juice. So I think that I clearly left money on the table, not backing the Astros yesterday, and even though they're on a travel day, or traveled last night, I'm not going to make the same mistake here. I think Urena gets touched, so I will be moving on the Astros. Maybe first 3 and first 7. I will have to see exactly how I'm going to bet it, but I'm not going to leave money on the table here today. And we have Garcia at over 6.5 Ks. Says that the Detroit's 27th in walking percentage and number 1 in strikeout percentage. That's from our David Sharpie. So both moves will be made. All right, let's move on to the next spot. And this is where we get to our taint play of the day. And it is on the Washington Nationals first 5 -0.5. First 5 -0.5 here, and it is not Lester pitching. Lester is being moved. It is going to be Joe Ross. So why don't we take a look at Ross first off? Let's get his numbers up here. Joe Ross. Here we go. Joey Ross this year, 67 1/3. He has a 4.54 ERA and a 1.248 WHIP. His FIP is really bad this year, 5.07. I mean, that is a very, very bad FIP. Very interesting. Does that make him vulnerable? That's got to make him probably not to be trusted here in Joe Ross. Let's see how he's gone up against this Marlins squad that's just ice cold with the bat. And let's see if I can get a refresh here and I can get the numbers for him. Batter versus pitcher. And we do against Ross, 18 at-bats, or 5 for 18, and it's Adam Duvall, who's 2 for 5 with 2 doubles. So they're hitting .278 with a .739 OPS. And these Nats have not seen Cody Poteet. Boston Nick says, is the taint still the same with the pitching change? Sharpie says, is it still the taint? He capped the game with Lester. These are all valid points. Eric Rosas says, I think no. If pitching change, got to recap it. And Sharpie says, I don't know if this should be the taint. He capped the game with Lester. So, okay, that is all valid statements. So I will message our man our man Matty Ice, and there he is. Says it's Nats money line, and I capped it with Ross on the bump. There we go. Look at this guy. Oh, God, I love Matty Ice. There we go. Says he capped it with Ross on the bump. Ross handles Marte, who is the only Marlin hitting right now. Ross handles Marte. There we go. Question answered. I tell you, baby. Taint's always watching. The taint is always watching. Matt Jennings says a taint. It's always a taint. What up? Great to see you, Matt Jennings. Okay. So, Cody Poteet on the other side. These Nats have not seen Poteet. 2-2, 3.90 ERA, 1.12 WHIP, 27 2/3, 26 Ks, 12 walks, 5 home runs. In his last start, he went 3 2/3, 3 hits, 2 runs. There were solo shots, 4 walks, 5 Ks, and a 10-2 win at the Cubs at Wrigley. The Marlins don't hit righties. 234, 672 OPS. The Nats hit 246, 705 OPS versus righties. Both bullpens are pretty good. Okay, let's take a look very quickly, if we have a second, as to what Joe Ross's last starts have been like. This will just take 1 second. We only have 10 games. So, wow, Carlisle, the coach of the Pacers. That's wild. Hackstall, coach of the Kraken. Very, very, very big news. Okay, let's move over and just quickly get a read on Joe Ross. Here we go. He's been bad this year, but the Marlins are so meek offensively. Here we go. His last start, just 5 days ago, was against the Mets at home. He went 5 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, but that came on the heels of a great start against the Giants at home when he went 8 strong and didn't allow a run against a hard-hitting Giant squad. He is sort of a touch-and-go pitcher. I mean, 2 of his last 4 starts have been terrible, and 2 of them have been actually only that one has been excellent. Matty Ice says Schwarber and Turner are fire. Okay, let's see what the market has done with this spot. First 5, we have Washington at about minus 125 at Bookmaker, minus 115 at other spots. There's been a 6-cent move at Bookmaker towards the Nationals. Let's just go to full game here very quickly. Full game. And on the full game money line, we have the Nats opening up at minus 106, now minus 112, a 6-cent move at Pinnacle. Schwarber and okay, let's just move to this total. The total interests me very much, and we'll see. There probably not going to be a lot of tickets in right now because of the pitching change. But a 2-cent move towards the over at 4.5. All right. Jeff Wortman says Astros team total first 5 innings over 3 minus 105. That's nice. Glenn Elliman says Washington moved into the leadoff spot. Nats Kyle Schwarber has 10 home runs in 20 June games over 72 at bats. I think Urena is so bad nut flush that I wouldn't trust even that. And if the Astros are going to be sluggish, I would expect them to be sluggish probably in the back half of the game. Personally, how I see this. All right. And Keon Jackson says, I like full game Nats Miami cold. Well, taint play of the day is in. And first 5 on that minus a half is going to be juicy plus line. So I don't even know if that's necessary. And I'm in. All right, I'm in with taint. Nats first 5. Let's go. Nats first 5. Let's go. We move on to 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Cleveland Indians 40-31, 20-18 on the road at the Minnesota Twins 31-42, 15-22 at home. Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota, 85 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 5 miles per hour, or 8 miles per hour sideways out to right. Why did I think it was hotter in Minnesota today? I feel like I wrote that down wrong. Let me just check RotoWire and see what they're saying the temperature in Minnesota is. 84. Okay. Why did I think it was hotter? Glen Elley, man, Miami 11-17 to the under at home. Yeah, I just think that the concern I have about the under is the Washington Nationals bats. So that's why we take the first 5, I think. First 5. Brian Watson says juiced at minus 185 for Minnesota. We have J.C. Maya, 1-2, 6.11 ERA, 1.25 WHIP, 17 2/3, 16 Ks, 5 walks, 2 home runs. It is clear that the Cleveland Indians have no budget to add pitchers, even though they're having a quality season, 40-31. That's based mostly on the weakness of their divisional opponents. Last start for Maya, he went 5 innings, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 home runs, 3 Ks, and 11-10 loss at the Pirates. They have bullpen days. They have the weakest starting pitching that we have seen from them in quite some time. There's Mills in the house, shouting out Slaughter for killing it in soccer. Jeff Slaughter in the chat, rolling with us right now. Jose Barrios, 7-2, 3.56 ERA, 1.09 WHIP, 83 1/3, 87 Ks, 21 walks, and 10 home runs. In his last start, he went 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 6 Ks, and a 7.5 extra inning win at the Rangers. That was a game I doubled up on the Twins, and I was very fortunate to cash. Very, very fortunate to cash. I cashed that first 5 minus a half with a home run with 2 out in the 5th inning. It was not a good bet. It was not even the right bet. I cashed the run line. Well, I was on the -1, but I cashed it in extra innings. It was Barrios does not look nearly as strong as we remember him. Indians versus righties, 236, 90 OPS. Twins versus righties, 241, 745 OPS. Indians bullpen still so good, 3.42 ERA, 1.28 WHIP, converted 21 of 26 save opportunities. Twins bullpen, 4.77 ERA, 1.38 whip, converted 18 of 29 save opportunities. So let's look at the market here in this Twinkie spot. We have, let's move over to money lines and totals for the first 5. If we wanted to attack Maya, this total was initially juiced to the under at minus 112. It's now minus 108. So a 4-cent move towards the over 5. For the money line in the first 5, we have a huge favorite in the Twins, and Berrios just simply isn't pitching like that right now. Full game, the Twinkies open up at minus 162 and move to minus 179 at Pinnacle, a 17-cent move at Pinnacle, and the full total is sitting at 9. There's been a 2-cent move to the over 9, and the Indians bullpen is not being as strong as it has been of late. Young Suave says Twins hot right now. Take Twins run line. Don't overthink it. All right, let's take a look at baseball data here. And we have against Maya 6 at-bats, 1 for 6 with a single. And then against Berrios, they're hitting 183 with a 569 OPS. And Jose Ramirez, 7 for 37. He's the only one you really have to worry about. 7 for 37. Keon Jackson, I'm going – definitely not the money line. No need for the money line. No need to take on that much juice. Bleds W says Berrios not worth the price. Glenn Man says lean Twins to get some off of Maya. I do too. Let's see where the cash is in this spot here in the Indians game. We have 4,589 tickets in. We have 65% of the tickets on the Twins, 87% of the cash. And here you go, 32% of the tickets on the under, and alarming. They've got 99% of the cash on the under, but I find that kind of tricky to believe. Obviously, a huge bet. I agree with that look. Joe Yurkovich locked in Astros first 5, -1 and -107. So do we trust Berrios? His last start was on the road. Now he gets back home. What are his splits? Let's just see if his splits are okay at home here very quickly. I know we have a giant basketball game that we are going to be talking about here shortly. Let's just look at these splits very quickly. Here we go. Berrios. We went over his last start. It wasn't very good. He's allowed 9 runs in his last 19 innings. Not pitching well. And then let's go to his splits very quickly. Full splits. We have worse numbers at home than on the road. At home, 4.29 ERA and an opponent's batting average of 255. If that is the case, if that is all the case, then why don't we just take this first 5 over? I don't trust the way Berrios is pitching. I know he's been able to get to these Cleveland Indians. There's been a small move to the over. We know the Twins can get to the Indians. Earl Sports, that is Sports Insight. No, it's not free. It costs a little over $1,000 a year, depending on what kind of deal you get. Okay. And Nutflush says, look at his last 3 starts, Jimmy. Yeah, they're not good. Not good. We have 8 mile per hour sideways, but out to right. We have both bullpens sort of struggling, and we know that the Indians are probably going to have to go to that bullpen early. Do we really have concern that Berrios is going to be lights out here? I think the over is got to be in play, but we've already seen that there's a huge amount of money here on the under. That's difficult to figure out. So what if we just only focused on the Minnesota Twins team total? But if the Minnesota team total comes in, then you'd expect them to easily win this game. All right, sorry, thinking out loud here. The Minnesota Twins team total is at 5.5 at +115. Glen Elliott Man's first 5 team total is over 2.5. Okay. Well, I think this first 5 over should be in play, but I'm just going to leave that as a lean right now. I'm going to have to study this further, but I'm very close to moving on the first 5 over 5, but we'll leave that in the lean category. Let's move on. We have 2 more games before we get to the NBA playoffs. Next up, we have 8:15 p.m. Eastern. Pittsburgh Pirates, 26-46, 10-25 on the road at the St. Louis Cardinals, 36-38, 19-15 at home. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri, 86 Fahrenheit, humid in St. Louis, 14 mile per hour sideways out to the left field pole. Chad Kuhl, 1-4, 5.66 ERA, 1.49 WHIP, 35 innings, 27 Ks, 22 walks, 5 home runs. He's been terrible. His last start, though, was good, and it was against the Indians at home. The Indians ended up cashing a ton of runs late in that game, but early in that game, they were doing nothing. And against Kuhl, they only got 4 hits over 6 innings and 1 earned run, 1 walk, 4 Ks. Carlos Martinez has been as bad as any pitcher in the league, maybe the worst pitcher in the league over the last little while. 3-8, 6.62 ERA, but the whip's still low, and only 6 home runs in 68 innings. In his last start at the Braves, he allowed 8 earned runs, 8 hits, 2 homers, 4 walks in 3 innings. Neither team hits righties here, and both bullpens are good. Johnny K says Pirates. My initial thought was backing him, but I wanted to talk about this game because I thought it was extremely – the first 5 has gone from 4.5 to 5. I thought that full game had moved towards the under. Let's see here. The full game total, 8.5 to 9. When did it move to 9? Immediately. The first move on this game was towards the over 9, and the first 5 at 5. Let's go to baseball data to see if everything lines up for an over here. Against Kuhl, they're hitting .284 with a .795 OPS, and against St. Louis, against Martinez, .349, .944 OPS. How do we not back the Pirates in this spot? That is what I ask you. How do we not back the Pirates when we know how bad, what a disaster Carlos Martinez is? And can Carlos Martinez turn it around here? Let's see what bookmaker has done with the market move first 5. Yeah, money coming in on Pittsburgh. Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't we trust Chad Kuhl? DC says overs 8-0-1 in Kuhl's last 9 road starts. Joe Yurkovich says looking toward Pittsburgh, only St. Louis in a bad way right now. St. Louis is not hitting. They've gone ice cold. All right, this has to be a Pirates spot. And we have to take advantage of Carlos Martinez, so it's got to be Pirates early. And, I mean, I'm guessing that Pirates score first is going to be heavily juiced. Let's see what it is here. Main props. Let's get this Pirates score first and see what we're talking about here. Sorry, it's going to take a second. First team to score -140 is too juiced. Glenn Man says Cardinals have won 9 straight versus the Pirates. But I'm not saying the Cardinals can't get to the Pirates late, but this first 5 has got to be in business. Kuhl coming off a good start. Kuhl has good numbers against the Cards. The Cards aren't hitting. Cards are losing. 2 games under 500 now. Pirates first 5. All right. Pirates first 5 is going to be on my docket. DC says overs 8-0. Martinez last 8 starts following an outing of less than 4 innings in his last appearance. And Glenn Man says Martinez threw 8 scoreless innings against the Pirates on May 2nd in a 3-0 victory. He's falling apart right now. And even with that quality start against them this year, they're still hitting .349 with a .944 OPS against them. Okay, so Pirates first 5 at +130. I'm going to back it here. I'm going to back Chad Kuhl coming off a good start, expecting him to turn the season around somewhat. The Cardinals are ice cold. If this is a coin flip, then why don't we take the big dog here? DC on the first 5 over. All right. Glenn Man says Kuhl versus Molina 7 for 15. Arenado 2 for 5. Edmund 2 for 5. Goldschmidt 2 for 6. Have had success against them. Let's get back to the baseball data one more time. Yeah. Matt Carpenter 3 for 17. I mean, he's not hitting anyone anyways. DeYoung 1 for 8. O'Neill 1 for 5. Carlson 1 for 4. Nigel Lee says stats are misleading for this game. Bats come out today. Let's just see where the cash is. Is there other cash on the Pirates before I make this a move? We have 24% of the tickets on Pittsburgh, 24% of the cash. And here we go, 46% of the tickets on the under and 74% of the cash. So we have 24% of the tickets, 24% of the cash, 5,000 tickets being called in on the over and, on the Pirates. And full game, we've seen the market move 5 cents. You would think that if there was that much money on the Cardinals, the market would move more in that direction. Yes, Dwight McQueen, the Nationals' first 5 is the taint play of the day. All right, look, I think there's a problem with Carlos Martinez, and the Cardinals bats aren't hitting, and maybe I'm just putting myself in a very dangerous situation here back in the Pirates' first 5, but I'm going to do that. We move on to the very last game on the card today. Chicago Cubs at LA Dodgers, 10:10 p.m. Eastern. The Cubs are 41-33, 15-20 on the road at the Dodgers, 44-29, 23-12 at home. Dodger Stadium, Los Angeles, California, 73 Fahrenheit, clear, 7 miles per hour, out to right center. Zach Davies going up against Walker Buehler. Davies 4-4, 4.66 ERA, 1.49 WHIP, 73 in the third, 45 Ks, 36 walks, 6 home runs. His last start was at home, and he got beaten up by the Marlins. They lost 10-2, and 6 innings, 7 hits, 8 earned runs, 2 home runs, 3 walks, and 2 Ks. Walker Buehler going to try to right the ship for these Dodgers. Just got swept. They've gone 7 in the third, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 0 home runs, 2 walks, 11 Ks, and a 9-3 win at the Cubs. Cubs are only hitting 220, 697 OPS versus righties. The Dodgers 250, 768 OPS versus righties, and that number is dropping. Cubs bullpen 2.63 ERA, 1.17 WHIP. They've converted 23 of 29 save opportunities. The Dodgers bullpen 3.80 ERA, 1.29 WHIP, have converted 26 of 41 save opportunities. Joe Yurkovich says Carlos Martinez seems like a sticky user to me. Johnny K says feels like a Dodgers smash spot. Mike M says Cubs got lit up all over the West Coast last trip, thinking revenge tour, and Dodgers are weak lately. Let's look at what the market has done in this spot. Here we go. Full game. Dodgers open up at minus 230. They're now minus 246. And that is just, for a team scuffling right now, that's just too much to pay. That's just too expensive. Let's go to the baseball data and see if it supports that. Against Davies, they're hitting 236, 629 OPS. Against Buehler, 234, 733 OPS. Very, very strange. Let's see what the total has done here in this game. The Dodgers' numbers against righties are dropping. The Cubs aren't hitting righties. I know it's a nice day for offense, but this total's gone up a full run from 7.5 to 8.5. This first 5 has gone from 4 to 4.5. Well, I don't want to get in the way of that market move here. Jorge Gonzalez has come back heavy for the Dodgers from the Padres stumble. Johnny K likes the over. I think we've missed the over here if you like it. KCOH MMA says, I can't envision either team losing that game with Lightning and Bucks. Lightning don't have Kucherov. Or we'll find out in another 24 hours. But if they don't have Kucherov, I mean, now we're talking about that. E says Dodgers have to bounce back from the Padres sweep. I don't want the Dodgers at this price. Especially if Zach Davies has confidence against the squad. There's Topset in the house. Great to see you, Topset. Wow, Turnsey says I'm seeing Marc-Andre Fleury expected to play tonight. Well, I will not make my bets if that's the case. But we'll talk about that very soon. Glenn Elliott, man, leaning Cubs Dodgers under. You know, Glenn Elliott, man, I think it's an interesting look. But do we want to get in the way of this giant market move towards the over? It's not something I want to do. If I had a free play, I would, but I don't want to put money on against this giant market move. Let's take a look at where the cash is in this game. We have 4,917 tickets in. We have 75% of the tickets and 91% of the cash on the Dodgers. And the market's moving quickly in that direction. And then we have 58% of the tickets and 68% of the cash on the under, and the market moving to the over. We don't know at what point. And then Brandon says I got Lehner confirmed. Topset saying poker's been good to me. I love hearing that. I need Lehner confirmed for my plan of action. All right, we're coming off. our first losing day in MLB in some time. 2-4, down 2.43 units. Let's take a look at the plan of attack here. I find the Yankees appealing first 5. I think Taillon in his second straight home start and the Yankees A lineup. I just don't know how much juice I'm willing to use. So minus 135 first 5, minus a half, which isn't even available at Bet365 right now. They're not putting out the first 5 alternative lines. So I'm going to have to wait and see if that pops off. Nigel Lee says, love the Dodgers, but the price is not worth any value. Stay away. Better spots on other games. And Glenn Man says, Lehner looking like the starter tonight. And Lehner confirmed per RotoWire. Ooh, puzzler, can we talk about it? Okay, so what are we on? What is definitive action for us? Jose, say, hey, play of the day is the over 9 at minus 103. I am going to, there's Gavin Henry. Gab, my man. A great horse trainer out of Jamaica. Gavin Henry in the house. First 5, minus 1 for the Astros will be on my card. That's not available right now at Bet365. They're not giving us the alternative lines. If they don't give us the alternative lines, I will either bet the first 3 or the first 7 and make decisions around that, or maybe bet them both. Then Nats first 5 is the taint play. Oh, and by the way, the Sharpie dirty K prop is Garcia over 6.5 Ks, and I'll take a long look at that. There's Eli Nahara in the house. Great to see you, Eli. For Nats first 5 is the taint play of the day. I'm going to be on it. And that first 5 over 5 is certainly a lean for me in Cleveland, Minnesota, but I'm going to take a little bit more time on it. And I just don't want to pay the cost for Barrios right now. So the first 5 over 5, I just need to study a little more, and then I'll pull the trigger. And then I'm going to move on to Pirates first 5 and Chad Kuhl. Pirates first 5 and Chad Kuhl will be on my card. As soon as I bet them, I will then tweet them out and make them official. So you can follow that on at Jimmy the Bag over on Twitter. There you have our MLB card. And tomorrow we go back to a full slate. We move on to NBA. NBA West Finals Game 3. Phoenix leading the series 2-0, 9 p.m. Eastern. Suns at Clippers, Staples Center, Los Angeles, California. And now the 4th-seeded Clippers have fallen behind 2-0 in each of their first 3 series in this postseason. My goodness. My goodness. All right, let's see what the market's done. We saw a huge move towards the over earlier today. Let's see if that has continued. We'll look at where the money is and then make decisions around that. And then Mr. GOGSTER will join us for NHL. With the announcement that Paul is very likely to be in the lineup, we've seen a market move. Phoenix was +1. Now they're -1. Pinnacle has moved them to -1.5, and I expect all the other books to follow. Johnny K says Clippers. Let's go to the total. This total opened up at 218. Why is this not going? All right, sorry, my computer's going slow here. Let's go here, the totals. There we go. Open at 218.5. And it's already gone all the way up to 222 at Pinnacle. And my initial thought, there's Noli Nose in the house. Great to see you, Noli. Bloods W says Suns sweeping Clippers. KCOH says CP3 is back looking like 3-0 Suns. So my initial thought with the total, and we know that the Clippers have been playing at a very slow pace in the playoffs, but being very efficient. 93.7 possessions a game. This series, the first 2 games have been played at 93 possessions a game. In the regular season, they were playing at 97.63, but that was slowly dropping throughout the season. The Suns played at a pace during the regular season, a slow pace, 98 possessions a game. In the playoffs, that's dropped down to 96. There's astute chaos in the house. Turnsy says if Booker wears a mask tonight, bet his points over. It's simple. I'm with Mike M. He says we all know the first game a star comes back. I'm going to wait. I expect money, and we're going to look at where the money is right now, but I expect money to come in on the Suns all day. And I'm going to bet the Clippers at the best possible spot. Stu Chaos, is that a over or under for your first half look? Over or under? And I also thought with Chris Paul coming back, even though he's such a calm, steadying influence, that the pace would slow down. So I was surprised to see the pace or the total skyrocket. Surprised. North Ender says CP3 back, people going to be all over the Suns. I agree. Mally Mouse says Reggie Jackson been balling. He certainly has. And Danny A says, who stopped Maton? No one from the Clippers. Nolly knows says I'm thinking Clippers early. Roy Mon says live bet this game. So, despite no Chris Paul, the Clippers can't get a win in Phoenix. And the only thing that was different about these being down 2-0 now was that in this series, in this third series for them in the playoffs, was that they should have won game 2. And it felt like a dagger. It felt like a sharpened chopstick to the larynx. And I wondered if that was going to affect them a little more than the first 2 series. But let's take a look at where the cash is right now. And I assume that money is just going to be pouring in on the Phoenix Suns. The one confusion I have is why the total's gone up to 222. That's my confusion here. Ayton coming off a 24-14 game. He's just has as much confidence as we've seen him in his NBA career. Cameron Payne goes for 29 points and 9 assists. They win a game when Booker goes 5 for 16 from the field. The Matt Jennings says, just don't think Clippers have enough without Kawhi. Should have won game 2, and now CP3 comes back to control the game. I expect Suns to roll. Yes, Matt, that's going to be the reasoning of a ton of people, and if that is the case, won't that give us value? Oh, Joshua Q can lie. That just means Nats first 5. You can, if you take Nats first 5 with the lead, just means -0.5. So if it's tied, you lose. All right. So now let's see where the money is. This is going to be very interesting. We have 11,853 tickets in. We have 64% of the tickets on the spread on the Suns, 54% of the cash. Money line, 57% of the tickets on the Suns, 64% of the cash. And then we have 37% of the tickets on the under and 54% of the cash on the under. And I want the under, but I just can't understand why it's gone to the over. We've had 2 completely different basketball games. So what was that? That first game, both teams were over 40% from 3, and they put up 79 threes. In that next game, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I believe in game 2 there was just 60 threes put up. Mally Mouse's unders don't get paid in 2021. Hey, tell that to the man that Noli knows who feeds his family on unders. North Ender says public sees Paul back and thinks points, but look at the pace on the Suns team with Paul here this year and what the pace was last year. I know it's completely different. Johnny K says Clips got to play D here. Ron Lofton said refs did all they could at the end of the game for the Clips, but it still didn't matter. North Ender says, I like the under with Paul in. So do I, but do you have the balls to go up against this huge market move? And it's Pinnacle leading the way. So why don't we just take a quick look at when Pinnacle has moved this total towards the over. So Pinnacle, as we know, very sharp book. They opened it at 218.5 yesterday at 12:30 p.m. Within 3.5 hours, it moves to 219.5. Within an hour and a half of that, it moves to 221. So it's 221 at 5 o'clock yesterday. And then it moves to 222 at 10 in the morning. I do not want to get in the way of that. But what I do want to do is bet the LA Clippers here. And I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait all day and all night. And I'm going to take the Clippers on the money line. They've just proven to us that they aren't scared and they aren't intimidated. And now they're coming back home. And the public is going to be on the Suns. Now, when a professional basketball player like Matt Janning says Just don't think the Clips have enough without Kawhi. Should have won game 2, and now CP3 coming back to control the game. I expect Suns to roll. I'm going to have to sit and really study this and make sure that this is what I want to do. And Matt Janning also saying under might be the right bet here. Stay off the spread or live bet it. Jorge Gonzalez says Clippers not going to get swept. This is a perfect spot to come back in a game. It is. North Ender says Joe Public don't study this stuff. It's the same with Kawhi. He goes out, everyone thinks under. And the stats from 3 in game 2, Clippers were just 23% and the Suns were 38%. There's Alex Ramirez, star of the Spidey play of the day. Matt Jennings says Clippers have proven to stay tough. I like it. I'm staying off and just enjoying the show. And Von Polo says don't do it, Jimmy. And Gavin says Clippers getting their heads ripped off tonight. Now, we go back to last playoffs, last year. The Denver Nuggets kept the storyline the same, went down 3-1. Now, they couldn't do it to get to the NBA Finals against the Lakers. It wasn't a surprise. And I don't think the Phoenix Suns are the juggernaut that the Lakers were last year. So I don't see why this script can't stay the same with the Clippers coming back from 0-2. Because losing the first 2 games at home against the Mavericks, going into Dallas, was a very, very difficult situation. Losing Kawhi Leonard against the Suns was an extremely difficult situation. And I don't see why, if the Clippers have shown what they can do when the chips are down and their backs are against the wall, why they wouldn't be able to do it here. That's my thinking. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't see how. I don't see the Suns as that much better than these other teams. And now you have Chris Paul moving back into the rhythm. You also have Booker, who may have some breathing issues with the nose. He might be wearing a mask. Danny A says, Jimmy, where I disagree with your Lakers and Suns comparison, the Suns play better team ball opposed to Lakers depending on AD. They have all the tools. Yeah, I hear that. But I am also comparing the Lakers to last year in the bubble when everything was going their way. Mally Mal says Suns the best team in the league. Bleds W says no Kawhi, they done. Well, then, Bleds, they wouldn't be here if that was the case. The Jazz would have knocked them out. So look, I get it. I will be taking the Clippers tonight on the money line. And I'm going to wait. Kevin Henry says, bro, I've been feeding on the Suns all year. They're the real deal. Look, I agree. Wesley says CP3 changes the pace much more with him on the floor, especially in the fourth. I expect the under just barely. Life of Von Polo, yes, I think the Phoenix Suns are better than the Utah Jazz. But look, the Clippers beat the Jazz badly without Kawhi. Beat them badly. Yeah, Danny, no doubt. Better team ball. Joe Yurkovich says even the Suns are expecting a Clipper bounce back. And Mally Mal says take Clippers and lose the money tonight. All right. Well, Life of Von Polo says if Donovan Mitchell was fully healthy for the last game, the Clippers wouldn't even be here. Okay. So that's my spot here. I'm going to be betting the Clippers on the money line, and I'm going to wait. And let's just see if that's worked out so far. I imagine that money's just coming in on the money line on the – let's go to the money line. We're going to go to Pinnacle. So it's not really. So the Clippers opened at minus 112. And they're now at plus 103. But they got up to plus 108 at 10 o'clock last night. So we'll see. I expect the public to come in on the Suns late. All right, there you have it. That is Lance LaRose says slower pace with Paul lean under. So do I. But do you have the balls to go up against this giant move towards the over? I don't know if I do. Jersey says it took Terrence Mann to go for 39 for that to happen. Yeah, no, look, it hurt me badly that it happened. Manny Machado says Jazz defense ain't on the Suns level. All right, there is the West Finals Game 3. If I had bigger balls, I'd be on the under. But my balls are just big enough for me to take the Clippers on the money line to make it 2-1. There you go. We move on to NHL, and what a game we have tonight. Can you believe it? The reason why we love sports so much is there's things you just can't script. The Montreal Canadiens, 18th, finished the regular season in the 18th spot in points, are one game away from their first Stanley Cup final since 1993, and it falls on Saint Jean-Baptiste Day, which I have been to. When I was working the Ottawa Yankee, I crossed the bridge into Gatineau, which was Hull, and is now Gatineau, and I partied at Jean-Baptiste Day, and it's incredible. This is going to be an unbelievably incredible day in Quebec, and there's a lot of pressure. Can the Habs handle the pressure? Let's bring in our man from Belleville, Ontario, our NHL expert, Mr. GOGSTER, in the house. GOGSTER, what is happening, my man?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm about 2.5 hours, 3 hours away from Montreal. Been to actually Hull, Quebec there, Jim. Been to Gatineau, went to Lac Lemay, the casino there. Quite an establishment right on the cliff there. Real nice spot. But what a game we got tonight, guys. That Islander game was just as good last night. Holy Jesus, what a finish. That barn was just bumping. You know what? I really hope they get another game, Jim. I hope the Islanders can take down Tampa because they might not have Kucherov after that nasty cross-check. Mayfield got him right in the old kidneys there, eh?
Yeah, look, it's the hockey gods, man. The hockey gods. So I don't know. I don't ever want to see anyone get hurt. But when a team circumvents the cap, then I want them to get Nancy Kerrigan. And so,
yeah,
he
knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. He's like right about there, boom,
yeah,
and just got him.
Okay, here we go. This is as exciting as a hockey game has been in a long, long time. I can't tell you the last time there's been this much fervor around a hockey game.
What was that word, sorry?
Fervor.
Oh, that's a new one.
Fervor.
Sounds like anyway.
Let's get right to work here. They say that the festivities will be limited due to the coronavirus. Bullshit.
If you know Quebec, they don't follow a lot of rules.
They don't follow a lot of rules. And it's a national holiday. They're drunk right now.
Yes.
Let's talk about this series. So, DeBoer made his first giant mistake in my eyes that I've seen him ever make in the playoffs. Giant mistake. And I apologize if you hear my 4-month-old son trying to get some titty in his face. I hope he finds that titty and shuts up. But
he's excited for the game, too.
That's life. He's psyched. He's pumped. He's pumped. It's like, get this titty in my face. I want to talk hockey. So, Chandler Stevenson came back and didn't look very good.
Mm-hmm.
I expect him to look better in Game 6. I expect him to look much, much better. The Knights, the way I see this, are in terrible, terrible trouble. Defensemen have accounted for 7 of the 11 goals. Their power play unit is 0 for 15 in the series, 4 for 41 in the postseason, and they're still favored? Yeah, how could they possibly be favored, Mr. GOGSTER?
I know. You know what they're looking like, Jim? They're looking like a bunch of leftovers, like that Vegas team they are. They're looking like a bunch of leftovers. All those forwards, they're not playing too well together. I don't know what it is either. Like the defense is just firing, and with their goalies, they're lucky they got Leonard to look at here because Fleury hasn't looked that good. If he didn't go, I was going to just go buck wild on Montreal, but it made me think a little bit with Leonard. But still, guys, I'm not shying away from these picks. Surprisingly, kind of like what we're saying, I think it's going to be a slow start for Montreal, even though they've been coming out really hot after that bad game last time against, especially if you look back, Jim, against the series against Colorado. They lost 7-1 that first game. They came back and they looked really good the second game. I think they're going to have a better performance. It's going to be in the first period from Vegas. So I played Vegas first period, guys. It's a little juicy, minus 129 to score a goal. So over 0.5 Vegas to score a goal here. Like I said, I think they're going to look a lot better. They're going to have a better game plan here. They can't be trying to do that stupid little passing in between the neutral zone. They got to get a lot more dump and chases. It's been prevalent. It's been all over the news too, and up here in Canada. So I think they're going to get a little wind of that, Jim. I think they're going to have a little different game plan, a lot more dump and chases, and put a little more pressure on this defense from Montreal, because it's been nothing. You know, they've been just getting clogged up in that neutral zone, and it's been getting just pushed back the other way, 3-on-2s for Montreal. So look for a lot more dump and chases, and I do think Vegas get one early. I'm going to go Vegas, not in the first period money line, but I do think they get a goal. I could see Montreal come back with one as well. So first play is going to be Vegas, first period, minus 0.5 over.
Well, I can understand the breakdown completely. After seeing Vegas score 8 goals in 5 games in the Western Conference Final last year, I cannot. So we've seen this story before. We've seen them get completely shut down. I cannot.
In Dallas, yeah.
I cannot. Even if I think, and this, what I truly think, is that we've seen this Montreal team handle adversity as well as any team we've ever seen.
Yeah, I think this is a little too much for them. I think like the stars are aligning too much with the St. Baptiste Day too and everything. As much as I do think they're going to win, I don't think it's going to be as easy as people think. I think Vegas are going to look a lot better. And Chandler Stevenson's second game back, I think he's going to look a little bit better, because that was tough for him to come into that situation. He wasn't 100% either. So I just think it's a lot. This is a lot. This is to go to the Stanley Cup Finals for Montreal. This is insane.
I agree with you completely. I think, and I know this is going to upset some people in chat, but I think the Montreal Canadiens will win the series in 7 games. I think they will win this series in Vegas.
I thought that, but I don't think you want to test the waters again. I don't want them going back to Vegas for Game 7. As good as they've looked.
Of course not. I just think this is too much. This is just too much pressure. Now, this is a veteran-laden squad that can clearly handle the pressure. Weber is one of the greatest leaders in pro sports.
Yeah.
You've got Corey Perry.
Yeah.
You know, Eric Stahl. You've got Stanley Cup winners that will keep everything calm. Are they capable of winning this game? Sure. And there's not a chance I would ever put money on the Vegas Golden Knights, even if I think they're going to win this game as a favorite. There's no way in the world that they should be a favorite in this spot. But
no, it's wild. Minus 140. What I saw that on Pinnacle just before the show. Like, I don't get it.
But we could see. So if Montreal wins this game, Kucherov's hurt. The Islanders win Game 7. Let's say the Habs could go in to the Stanley Cup Finals as the favorite
with the home ice advantage, or
no,
okay.
no, they won't. No, that's asking a little much. That's asking a little much. So, Glenn Light Man says Weber for Subban, who won that trade. Oh my goodness! And at the time when we were looking at the Corsi numbers and
I'll tell you a lot about Subban and
Weber's injury issues, I thought that it was a mistake. What a terrible, terrible decision. Terrible decision. Ooh, Jess Geeson says, you're right, Jimmy. Montreal will win the series in Vegas. It is too much pressure, but Weber, Perry, and the veteran team, Vegas cannot be a favorite.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why I think, though, they're not going to want to go back to Vegas. The forwards, the veterans are going to say, guys, we got to win it here. You know, we can't go back. You don't want to go 7 games. We want that extra rest going into the Stanley Cup Finals, too. This is the time. Like, I think they're going to be ready too. Price is a veteran goalie. He's looked nothing but great. He's looking just as good as Vasilevsky almost. Vasilevsky, you know, let in a couple, not even bad goals last game, just got beat. But Price, you know, and with Lehner going, one thing I didn't even talk about here, guys. Lehner, what was it, last year, I believe? He was 2-4 in the playoffs with a .916 save percentage and a .216 goals against. So he was 2-4 last year on the road in the playoffs, which isn't the greatest. 5-3 in the regular season on the road. So he's not the greatest. He's not a lights out goalie is what I'm trying to say. He's a big guy, but you lose a little confidence in Lehner, and the floodgates can open up. And next thing you know, Vegas are going to have to empty it. That's why I kind of like the over here too, guys, because I think Vegas, if they're down, just third period, both teams to score are just overs. How do you not see this game going over, especially if Montreal are up 2-1, 3-1? They're going to have to empty the barn.
We don't have the information right now on Sports Insights for whatever reason. We see that
Scared.
the money line tickets, they're not giving us the cash right now. 5,737 tickets in. 72% of the tickets are on Montreal. And 52% of the tickets are on the over. But we don't know where the cash is at this point.
That's the big one.
So this is what I think. I think that Robin Lehner is the right call here. I cannot believe that DeBoer didn't start him again in Game 5. And I really think that this could be a completely different story had he have made the right call. I was very surprised that he went back to Marc-Andre Fleury. It was a perfect situation to start Lehner again, because if they lose Game 5 with Lehner, then you can have Marc-Andre Fleury in Montreal in Game 6. I just can't comprehend that didn't go through his mind. And now I'm not sure if he's going to pay the consequences, but I do think that Lehner is we know he's a very, very different goaltender than Marc-Andre Fleury. And he's also, with his mental health issues that we've gone over a ton, he's also someone who can get extremely hot and can be spectacular. Yeah. And with the pressure on Montreal, I think he will be spectacular here.
It's either he doesn't allow a goal or one goal, or it's going to be a 4-2. Or I don't see it being in between. I think either he's great or he's terrible here.
Do we have it fully confirmed?
Yeah. I saw on Beat Writer there a guy named Braden Shen or something like that. Anyway, he said Loshak had an interview after, and he said they're looking forward to Lehner and the same performance after Game 4. So he kind of spilled the beans there. They were trying to keep it quiet, but Lehner is going to be in. Yeah.
So this is how I'm going to be betting this tonight, and I know I've been on a massive losing streak in the playoffs, but I'm pretty confident here.
That's right.
I am going to be betting no goal in the first 10 minutes.
I love that bet, buddy.
And I'm betting the under 5. The under 5. I think that I have the option, and I'm not going to do it, and I looked at it for a long time, of taking the Montreal Canadiens team total under 2, but it's just not enough of a reward, because if the Habs score 1 goal, you should be richly rewarded, and the 2 for the push. I get it that you set up the 2 for the push. Yeah. The Rusty Kuntz play of the day is the over 5. So Turnsey and I are going to be going heads up in this spot. So my prediction is that Montreal completely outplays Vegas.
So just like it's been the last couple games, pretty much.
But can't buy a goal with all the pressure.
And then they're just like, that's why I'm trying to give another angle here with, if they can start getting dump and chase, they do a little more dump and chase and get the defense, because it's an older defense. You start getting them and spin in circles rather than just going straight, because it's been so easy for this defense. So if they start getting dump and chase, get them on their heels, it's going to be a much different game. And I would lean towards the over here, Jim, especially because I do think Montreal come out here, like a 4-2, 3-2 kind of game. I do lean towards the over. How I see this game going is Vegas is going to be up, or they're going to have a goal in the first. Both teams to score, guys. That's going to be another play. That's an official one right here. Both teams to score in the second period. Highest expected goals in this series has been the second for both teams. I think we're going to see one here. And also full game Montreal. I like the Montreal Canadiens here, plus 127. And if I think there's going to be both teams to score, I think Montreal is going to win this game. I think there's going to be an empty net. Throw on the team total over Montreal over 2.5 plus 120 as well. So I got 4 bets here for this game, guys.
Whew.
I'm sorry, Jim. I'm sorry. I didn't. We're kind of right on the opposite angles here, but
yeah, I hear. No, it's part of it. I am adding another bet. I'm going to add now. this will be a unit for the record, but I'm going to put a half unit of cash on this third bet. I'm going to take the under a half goal in the first period at plus 320.
Under a half goal, so to be scoreless.
Yeah.
You know what? I just got from the last couple of games. Vegas guys, they haven't scored in the last 3 games. Montreal's had 1 goal in the last 3. So Jimmy's following the trends or what it's been like lately, and I don't blame Jimmy for doing that. Price has been stellar. Vegas hasn't been able to get anything by them. My only angle is, like I'm saying, if they can start having a different game plan from those forwards, because the defense for Vegas can't be scoring all their goals. It's not going to happen. So.
Okay, and Glenn and Man going for the overtime. I think that look makes a ton of sense. Turns a year on. We'll go for a bottle of Kraken on it. Under 5.
Top in the morning.
To over 5. By the way, Gas Station Sushi had his first bottle of Kraken last night on the Razor Sharp Pick Show. Very proud. I was.
Is that the new drink, Jim? I got to get off the JMO, throw the JMO, get a little Kraken in me now.
Yeah, I'm a Kraken man now. I've moved.
DLC, baby.
We have a daily double at Woodbine Race 1 from our Gas Station Sushi. Those of you who want more action can get it right now, 8 to 149. That's a Woodbine daily double, 8 to 149. Let me copy and paste that right now. How much time do we have till that race pops off, guys? 8 to 149. Okay, so let's review action one more time. We'll go first, and then we will have. Oh, and look, Glenn and Man exact score 3-2 Montreal plus 825, and we'll go over we have time to go over all the action.
I like that. Cool.
So we'll do that. While we have you here, we have a couple minutes before the Babano C-Mac show pops off. Is there anything in other sports that you are attacking
right now? To be honest, just nailed this hockey. I do the Korean baseball. I didn't cap Korean baseball yet, so I'll have that going on later today. I'll tweet out my action today, guys. Tweet out all the action Korean baseball. PGA, I had a 6-pack in the PGA. I had Answer. He didn't do too well. We got Patrick Reed. We got Streelman. We got Brandon Steele, Siwoo Kim. We got a bunch of guys there, guys. I got the PGA, big golf guys you see in the background there, the Masters flag, and hockey, and horses as well when I got time with the crew here, guys. So you know where to find me there. Ego47 on Twitter _. And yeah, guys, let's get this cash. It's going to be a hell of a game tonight. You know, big holiday up here in Quebec. So this place is going to be rocking. They're already drunk or hungover. They're just going to keep the party going. So
it's a really fun day to be in Quebec. So let's review our NHL action quickly. I'm on the first period, no score at plus 320, no goal in the first 10 minutes, and the under 5. That is my look here in NHL. GOGSTER, what is your action?
Alrighty, guys. Alrighty, brother. We got well, I hope you hit that no goal in the first 10, because I got Vegas to score in the first period, guys. Minus 129, a little bit of juice there, but I think they come up pretty hot to start. Both teams to score in the second period. That's at plus 155. Highest expected goals all series has been in the second period, so let's pull the trigger on that one. And Montreal full game money line. I think over time, looking at expected goals again, that's a big thing for me, and I don't think it's going to change, especially with Leonard. Montreal's got 3.16, where Vegas has been 2.06. Not to mention, Jim, they had 12 different lines last game. He's screwing around with the lines. Just get some 4 lines and throw them out there like Montreal's doing. They can't get any synchronization going there. So I like Montreal full game, guys, plus 127. Also, their team total over 2.5, plus 120.
And Mr. GOGSTER, why don't you stay with us for a minute here? I am on in baseball. We'll go over everything quickly here. In MLB, we have, well, first we'll go Jose Seje play of the day after sweeping the board yesterday. He's on the over 9 at minus 103 in Red Sox Rays. If the first 5 minus 1 is available for the Astros, I will bet it. It's not available right now. If it's not available, I'm still going to attack it. First 3 and first 7 are available, but the first 5s aren't. So I still will attack the Astros to get the Urena. And then, and also, I'm not going to take that team total over at 5.5, just because I imagine if they get up, that they've been traveling, they've been on the road, that they might not have a ton of energy late in the game. Then the taint play of the day is the Washington Nationals first 5. I'm tailing TAINT. I'm going to study this Indians Twins first 5 over a little more. I plan to bet it. I am going to take the Pirates first 5. And that is my MLB action. In NBA, I am going to be betting the Clippers. And I will be waiting all day, expecting public to be hammering the Suns. Puzzler says I took the Habs money line at plus 127 when I woke up. Look, I'm just astonished that the market is still not correcting itself. Astonished. Like at the very, very worst, you can make this a minus 110 each way.
Yeah, honestly, especially my first period, I was hoping to get Vegas a little more than minus 124. Sorry, that was minus 124, guys. You know, they've been getting outscored every single game in the first. They haven't scored first at all, and the books still are giving plus money on Montreal. So it's pretty crazy, but I want to take Vegas, Jim, but I just think as the game goes on, Montreal are going to still show they're the better team. They're going to beat them. Lehner's going to crumble like something.
I don't think Lehner's going to crumble. But I do think that the Montreal Canadiens are the better team right now. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind after watching this that they have everything rolling right now. It's just that this is as much pressure as being on a hockey team in a long, long time. Well, I guess not. It's as much pressure as being on the Blues and Bruins in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final. I mean, but for a Canadian team, this is the most pressure that's been on a Canadian team since what?
Since Ottawa, I think, when they were against Anaheim, in my opinion. That's what I can remember.
No, I mean, because I was going to go back to Flames.
Edmonton, too, when Edmonton played
Edmonton, Carolina. I was going to go to Flames Lightning.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's
Canadian team hasn't won the Cup since 93. That was the year I was born, guys. So it's actually, I'm going to be birthdays tomorrow. So we'll have
shit.
Pete Loshak going on there, turning out 28 years old. You know, we're getting up there.
So, nice, GOGSTER. Well, thank you so much for everything. We are going to.
Well, thank you, guys.
We're going to bounce here. 7 minutes until Babano and C-Mac's MLB show. Don't forget, 4 p.m. At 4 p.m. we have NBA Pub Hub with Dutch Boy Fresh, C-Mac, Babano, and Ski Profit. And then at 7:30 p.m. we have Razor Sharp Picks, horse racing show, Thoroughbred horse racing show. And God, it's going to be a fun night. We've got nothing without you guys. Thank you all for your support. It means so much. Johnny K, Turnsey, Glenn Elliott, man, Smith and Wesson. Mike Jones says they're taint today. Yes, it's Washington Nationals first 5. Mike M says slight movement towards Kansas City. I still have a lot of interest in the Yankees first 5 on the run line, but I just don't know if it's worth that price with Tyon, but I do have some interest, so that might end up on my card. Lucky Power, Nutflush Allen, DC, Jerry Beatty, Slats 45, Gas Station Sushi, Jimmy Gomez, Mally Mal, Puzzler, Jessica Easton, Nilo, all you guys, thank you so much for your support. We have nothing without you guys, and I mean it. Head over to Babano and C-Mac and Mr. GOGSTER, my man. Could you please put a bow on this and leche us into the sunset?
All right, guys, let's leche ourselves into glory. Let's take some money from these bookmakers. They don't deserve it. We deserve it. Summer's coming up. Let's treat ourselves. Leche, Elos. Bookmakers, get that cash. Go Habs, baby. Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.